welcome to my channel. My name's Dawn, I'm the Reclusive Crafter. Today's video is going to be all about masterboards. I belong to a few Facebook groups, and especially for new journalers, and I come across quite a lot of queries about what is a masterboard, what are they for, how do you use them, etc. So I thought I'd just take you through basically start to finish exactly what a masterboard is. So I have a rather large book here, as you can see, which I put together my masterboards in. And just to show you a few that I have already done. So they literally are just scraps of paper that I put in, and sometimes I put order to them and other times I don't. The back side of it I usually cover with a plainish paper for journaling. I've used adverts and things from books that come through the door, and various scraps from projects that I've been making, and all sorts of things that you can make them with. These are all quite uniform, although I have done them with scrappy bits. So today I'm just going to do scrappy bits. Over the weekend I went through all of my paper drawers and I've sorted them all out. They're absolutely magical now. I know exactly where everything is. I've got everything sorted out, but what I did end up with was this monster of a drawer with lots and lots and lots of just bits and pieces, random bits and pieces. So I'm going to utilize some of this today to make up a masterboard and just show you the principle behind a masterboard, and then we'll make a little something from a masterboard once I'm actually done. So I shall start by just gluing stuff randomly down, as you do. And like I say, there doesn't have to be any rhyme or reason to it. It's entirely up to you. This is a very old piece of book page that I had, and literally just with a little bit of glue stick you can make these as clean and tidy as you want to. You can color coordinate them, you can size coordinate them, you can virtually do whatever takes your fancy on them. And it is really, honestly, a case of just sticking stuff down. For instance, this, lots of holes in it, doesn't make any odds. That can actually be quite nice, to be fair. If I was to stick that down, that'll make quite an interesting little concept for a project of any description. Just getting myself sorted out because I had that on a lump and it was eating up my glue. There we go. So while I just stick these bits and pieces down just for reference, how are you all doing? Are you all well? If you haven't been to my channel before, welcome. And if you've been here before, welcome back. It's good to have you. My channel is slowly beginning to get a little bit of traction, which is quite nice. I'm always pleased to have newcomers and help to build my channel up. By the same token, you know, it's nice to have the regular viewers as well that you can rely on and actually like what you do, which is always encouraging, especially when you're relatively new to this YouTubing malarkey. And yeah, having the support from people is really lovely. So that one, this is just a strip of paper that I have done punches out of, and I'm sticking it over a little piece that I've already stuck down just to give it a little bit of extra depth and layering. And like I say, you can literally just do whatever takes your fancy with these, and I am literally using scraps. Like I say, a lot of times when you see people doing masterboards, they will use quite what's the word I'm looking for, uniform shapes and sizes and that sort of thing. And hopefully you'll see from this one that I'm doing here, it can, I might just stuck that on the wrong side. I've just glued that on the wrong side. Oh no, I haven't. Why is that not sticking down there? I thought I'd glued it on the wrong side, but I haven't. Just Ah, there we go. It didn't seem to want to stick then. So the only thing with masterboards is you will find that you'll get very sticky. And I am just losing lots of my random little bits today because I'm quite interested myself to see how this will turn out. The uniform bits are nice, but it's nice to be random sometimes and know that you can make use of other bits. Just going to push that up against that one there. As you can see, I do a lot of punching of circles and things, and that's how I get these funny little shapes, which are rather nice. I've got a long piece of book page here, which I think I will use because they're good for, as you can see, sticking over the top of things as well, which is nice because it just gives you that added depth to your work. So I don't know what you were all up to at the weekend, but like I say, I had a sort out of all my paper drawers, and it's a good process to go through, actually. You don't realise exactly what you've got until you have a really good sort out. And I really did. I've got everything now organised into plain paper, coloured paper, printed paper, metallics, glitters, all sorts of interesting bits and pieces, and it really is making my life so much easier. Actually, it's really nice to have to have a semblance of order in what I'm doing. Sorry, I'm just looking for bits that will actually work on here. I want to try and use as many of these random pieces as I can, because I quite like the shape of them. Actually, there's a little bit of ribbon there that was from my last video of the dangles. I don't know if you've seen that one, but if you haven't, pop along and have a look. I enjoyed doing that one. This one I'm going to pop there, I think, and then I can trim the edges up once it's all dry. That's that one. Just move those up a little bit, cover up those gaps. That's nice. Just having a little root through here, see what I've got. A little bit of holly from a Christmas project there. This is going to be the most random board I have ever done, but like I say, I quite like the idea of all the randomness of it. Little E cut off there. So share with me any masterboards that you've done that you've had a lot of success with, and that you've been pleased with. I've got some little cut off bits of tea dyed paper here. I'm going to stick them over onto this page here while I've come across them, because that will also help me to finish off these ones, which will be quite nice. Just and if you haven't done tea dyeing or coffee dyeing, again, very simple. You literally just put some coffee into some hot water, stir it around, let it dissolve, and pop your paper in. And if you want the randomness of where you've got lots of different colours in it, you can add in little granules of coffee, and that helps to make the darker colours in some areas to give you a little bit of texture, which is nice as well. So I'm just trying to think what I've been up to lately. It's a week now since I retired, so today is Monday, so it's exactly a week since I left work. And yeah, I was told I would get bored. It hasn't happened yet. I know it's early days, but hasn't happened yet. I've had lots to keep me busy. I've got lots of things that I want to be doing, like sorting my papers out for one, so that's now done. My office is clean and tidy, that's done. I have still got some things in here that I want to do. I want to reorganise my storage sections so that I have some storage for my ephemera when I make it all. Would be nice. There we go, that's those bits down. Just trying to find some more randomy bits for on here. I've got some quite large strips in here, but I don't really want to use those. That's nice. I don't even know why that's in there. That shouldn't be in there. A misfiled bit of rubbish. And literally, I might have to start tearing some bits up in a moment. That's quite a nice piece, isn't it? I think I will just try these out for size. I'm going to take that to about there. What's on the back of there? That would work quite nicely there, wouldn't it? Probably comes down a bit too far, so I'm going to take off a little bit of that edge. I can use that elsewhere. And then that will go up there, which will curl around there, quite like that. Yeah, and the weather's a little bit warmer at last, although it is very dull and overcast. It was literally almost dark at, was it 3:30 yesterday afternoon? And we thought it was a lot later than it was because of it. That's nice. Now, I quite like those little bits there, and I think I might leave them like that. And then this piece, I think I will put there. Like I say, masterboards don't have to be thought about too much. You can put a lot of thought into them, but generally speaking, they are just literally using up the bits that you've got. I just want to put a little section in there. Just in actual fact, I've just seen, where's that gone? I've lost it. Never mind. There will be plenty of other bits. Will that go in there? That will go in there quite nicely, won't it? Although, I wonder if I can peel that up and pop that underneath. Oh, yes, marvellous. I'm going to try and tuck that bit under there. And then once you've actually put your masterboard together, you can, like I say, you can literally use these for whatever you want to. Tags or journal cards. Or even folios, you know, you can make, depending on what it's like, you can even use folios or make folios. Just trying to see. That will go in there quite nicely, won't it? Tuck that one under there, like that. That's nice. And I'm just going to re-glue this bit because it doesn't seem to have glued very well, actually. I had issues with it when I tried to put it down, didn't I? I don't know why that's not stuck, but it is now. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. Now I want a bit across the top there, and that bit there will do very nicely. Thank you very much. So I'm going to tear that off there. So I personally haven't made such a random masterboard before, but I thought I'd give it a go and see what it's like. Because I'm just going to get a pair of scissors out, because it's nice to do things a little bit differently, isn't it? Just going to trim that little bit there and trim that one about there, and then I shall cut. I'm going to allow myself to throw that little piece away. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it comes out, to be fair. It's completely the wrong colours for the project that I'm currently working on, which is the Georgian Romance journal. But at some point it will be a beautiful addition to some journal somewhere, which will be very nice. But on No Waste Wednesday, this is the absolute ideal use of your scraps. And again, I quite like to be able to see that writing under there. That's quite nice. Gives it a really random look. Really nice. I like that. I might just try and pop something in amongst this. Not sure yet. Going to see how it turns out. Oh, just saw another little strip there that would be quite nice. That piece there, I like that. Or do I want to put that up there? Or up there even. Again, it's very easy to overthink these, so don't overthink too much. Just get your pieces down, because a lot of your masterboards, generally speaking, get covered up anyway. Oh, and I've just seen a gap there. That can go there. That was perfect. Well spotted. Right, that's just filled in that little gap that was there very nicely. I will use that. I want that to be probably about there, I reckon. And then about there. Does that cover that? Nope, not wide enough. So I'm going to take that over a little bit further. Tear that off about there. Yep, that will do. It'll do. and turn it around that way so that the yellows are a bit closer together. And I'm going to leave some of that on show there, because I do quite like that design there. That's quite nice. Quite nice. Okay, so can I pull that down a little bit and cover that gap up? Yes, I can. Lovely. Okay, so that's that bit done. And now, I don't want to cover that up completely. I wonder if I can find another strip of something. That's a bit too plain. Lots of strips. That's probably a bit too wide for what I wanted it for. I'm going to cut that in half. I'll put that down there like that. That's that one. And because that's quite plain there, that piece of ribbon has appeared again. I'm going to randomly put that along there. That still doesn't want to stick, does it, that bit? I'm going to randomly, maybe I don't want that completely, maybe let's just go with that. Tiny, tiny little piece. You see? You can even use your tiny bits up. Everything has a purpose when you're creating. Okay, that looks a bit random, but that would probably get covered over anyway. So that is a masterboard. As far as I'm concerned, that masterboard is complete. So I'm just going to get my bits out of the way. Okay, so that's now complete as a masterboard goes. And once that's chopped up, like I say, you can use it for tags, journals, whatever you want to do. The journal I'm currently working on is blues and pinks. So I'm going to use this because this is nicely pink. I'm going to tear this out and I'm going to show you how I would cut it up. And then I'm going to make some little tags, because I need some tags for my journal. So I'm going to just tidy up that edge first before I do anything else. So that's that edge nice and tidied up. So that's that one done. And then how wide is this? Let's have a look. So that is just under 8.5. So if I did 2 3s, and that would give me another 2.5, that would work quite well, wouldn't it? So I'm going to blind cut these. So 2 3s. So just make sure they are lined up properly. So that's one. And I do need to back them. And that's 2. Then that gives me that piece for shorter, so for thinner ones. And we're just under 11. So if I go 5.5, 5.5 on that one, that's 2 tags there. They're pretty. And then 5.5 on these. That's those 2. That one I would have around that way. Very pretty. And 5.5 that way. There we go. Okay, I think I'd have that one up that way. So, and that one up that way. So those are the bases for the tags. Oh, I got a bit stuck to me. And now to make the tag shape, we're going to just trim that off there, and then turn it round and pop it in there. Like so. And that's your tag, okay? And then you can embellish that however which way you want to. So that's one tag. And I've also started, I know this sounds really sad, but I've also started keeping these because, as you can see here, I've started keeping these. So I'm going to pop them in there. And the reason for that, and again, if you haven't seen the videos, you can pop along and have a look at them. I've started making these snippets out of cut-off corners so that they can line journal pages. Let me show you what I mean. Let me find one of my journals. And because I've tied it up, I know exactly where to put my hands on. So this is my ideas journal that I started. And with this, you would literally, you've got your page, and then you can just pop them along and trim them off, and it just gives you a really interesting edge to your pages, which I think is lovely. Or you can use them as belly bands, either vertically or horizontally, make beautiful belly bands. So yeah, there's various things you can do with those, and that's just from your cut-offs from things like your tags. So hang on to them. They can be very versatile, as you can see, and you can use them for all sorts of things. So again, just using up all your bits and pieces so that there is absolutely no waste in anything you do. So you can make full potential of all of your kits. Just going to finish off trimming these up. And deciding which way round you want them. I think I'll go that way with that one. Yeah, I'd like to welcome as well all of my new subscribers. I've had another little flurry of subscribers over the last couple of weeks, and it's lovely to have you all here. I hope you're enjoying what I do. If you've got any suggestions about what you'd like to see, by all means, please do make them. I do try and keep up with suggestions as much as I can, although I am aware that there's probably a couple that I haven't done yet. So apologies to those ladies if you're still waiting. I will get round to them eventually. It's just sometimes there is not enough hours in the day, but now I have more time on my hands, everything will change, which is lovely. So I'm going to cut. Do I want that way round? Or do I want that way round? I think I'm going to go that way. And that's the other thing with Masterboards as well, is when you are making things, you will find a way that you prefer to others. Ooh. There we go. Okay, so that's those. And just out of that one page, I have got two thinner tags, and I've got 4 of the fatter ones. And now I'm going to embellish them. So I've got all my bits and pieces here. Those are probably a bit big. And these are just bits and pieces that I've thrown in here that I want to use in the journal. So these are my lovely man there. I love him. I think he's lovely. My jilted lover he is. And I've got butterflies and bingo cards. I'm just pulling out some bits and pieces that I know will work, that are the right sort of size. And I've got those little bits there and that little bit as well. So let's have a look at these and just see what we want to do with them. So we've got this one and this one. I'm kind of doing a mass make here, so hopefully you can see. Let's move that over a little bit. So I'm going to do a little bit of a mass make. So I've got those, and I've got a little bit of material there from what I was doing before. There we go. Okay, so what have we got? So we've got Our Lady, and she looks rather nice on there. I've got my man. He looks rather nice on there, doesn't he? Got her there, maybe there, possibly. Not sure. Got cups of tea. Quite like that there. There's some blue in that one, maybe. Little butterfly. 40 by, not sure about that one. Quite like that. And I've gone quiet, sorry. I generally do when I'm concentrating. Doesn't bode very well sometimes, does it? Not when you're doing videos. I quite like that. Quite like that one. And then what else have we got? Got a pretty flower there. That's nice. I like that. Bingo! Love that. What else have we got? We've got a little pillow. Pillow. Quite like that sticking out there, maybe with that. Not sure. That's nice. I like that. I can always trim the edges as well. I like the butterfly on there. That's pretty. And then, oh, I wonder if I've got another word. Let's have a look. Where are my words? Got a big old pile of words here. Let's look, see what we can find. See, this is what I want to sort out. I don't like things in these plastic wallets because it's really difficult to see what you've got. So I want to sort that out as well. But that's another project for another day, which we will get to. Move it like that. I have got some more of those in here somewhere. But again, it's finding them, isn't it? What's that? That's quite appropriate. I've just found that in there. May your retirement. Compassion. That's quite cute. Might use that in it somewhere. Perfection is beauty. That's rather nice. Does that work there? I think we're covering up a little bit too much of the tag, really. Yeah, you see, this is the danger sometimes when you're working on these. You do the masterboards, and then it all gets covered up, and you actually lose the effect of the masterboard anyway, which I always think is a bit of a shame. Maybe pop that on there. I might not necessarily use all of these in the journal that I'm currently working on, but it would be nice just to have some in my stash, I think. This one is going to work. I shall make it because I'm going to make that work somehow. I like those two. I'm not sure about this one. I think I'd like a little word at the top there somehow. I really want to find another word. You know what? I'm going to pull out a tray. Bear with me, guys. Just going to pull out a shallow tray and just dump some things in there and see if I can find something, because I've got lots of bits in here. Oh, I've just seen one. There we go. That's a pretty one, isn't it? Now then. That's nice. I like that. Right, so we've got 1, 2, and 3 that I'm happy with. So I'm going to get those down now, and at least you will see the principle behind what we're doing. So let me just pop all of that out of the way for now. Pop that in my little... Going to pop those. So that one I'm okay with. That one I'm not sure about. That one I'm not sure about. And that one I'm not sure about. But these 3 I like. So I'm going to get those 3 stuck down. And I'm going to pop that one up there a little bit. Nice. Or do we want that him up there a little bit and then that one down there? Yeah, I think we'll go with that way round. So we're going to pop him about there, I reckon. Just get myself a little cloth. Just press that down. And then my little word, I'm just going to pop at the bottom there. Just going to get him to stand on there. Okay, so that's one done. And then this one, so we're into a new week, and although this is being aired on Wednesday, this is actually my Monday. I don't really have any plans for the week, which is quite nice. I may be visiting on Tuesday potentially, but I'm not 100% sure yet. And oops, and the rest of the week is pretty much my own, so I shall be in here, I think, most of the time, carrying on with my sorting. There we go. I'm going to pop my little butterfly on there. I want to make sure, do I? Yeah, I'll pop him there. I don't want him to get cut off when I trim that down. That's that one. I shall trim that down momentarily. And then we're going to pop this one down. Like that, a bit of an angle there. And then, did I say that one there? And her there. Or do I want that coming in from there? That's, yes, that works. Okay, just get rid of that piece, get another bit. There we go. So we want that coming in from the side on there. And then we'll stick the rather pretty young lady down on there. Like so. And I think that looks splendiferous. What do you think? I quite like that. And I'm just going to trim these edges up. One, two, missed a bit. There we go. And there we go. So there's three rather pretty tags already made up just from those masterboards. So those three I shall finish in a bit, but those three are good to go. You could, if you wanted to, put eyelets in them and put ribbon on them. You can do whatever you want to do. I think what I will do as well is just nip these corners round. I do like a rounded corner on a tag, just the small round, just to give it a nicer finish. Like so. And like so. Oh, missed that one. Let me try that one again. That's not going to work now, is it? There we go. Nearly. Let me just tidy that mess up that I've just made. That's what happens when you don't look at what you're doing with your punch. There we go. That's that done. Okay. So that's three completed in quite a short space of time. And I will just, let me just pop these to one side for a moment, because I do want to show you, what did I do with the book, guys? Oh, it's there behind me. I do want to show you what the book or what the page looks like once it's cut up that I did today. It's had a little bit of time to dry out. So I will show you that so that you actually get the effect of it. So it was this one here, all right, and I'm going to pull it out. So this was the page we just did today. I'm beginning to wish I'd put something down that section there, if I'm honest, but let's just see what it ends up looking like. I will just trim those bits off, and I will tidy that edge up the same as I did with the other one. Don't want to cut too much off it. There we go. So we will tidy that up. Okay, and then we want to do 3, 3, and we'll have that 2.5 there, and then I'm going to go with the 5.5 again because that seemed to work quite nicely. I'm going to have a look and see what these are like when I finish cutting them. 5.5. That's that one. And 5.5. Oh, that's a bit untidy there, isn't it? Let me just tidy that up. Perfect. And 5.5 on that one. Okay. Drum roll. Or should we do the tag bit first? Let's do the tag bit first, because then you can't see. Right, so we'll do that one. And that one. Pop my bits in the bit box. That one. And that one. I do enjoy seeing how these turn out when you're doing them blind like this. Well, that doesn't look very even, does it? I think I cut them the wrong way around, maybe. Sorry for the hiccup, guys. I just had a call come in. I don't know what it was, so they'll have to go away and try again, won't they? Now then, the one thing I have done with cutting the corners off of this before looking at them is deciding whether or not I actually wanted them up that way, to be honest with you. But do you know what? We will worry about that after the event. It doesn't really make too much odds, I wouldn't think. And if it does, hard cheddar chum chops. Let me cut one there. Okay, all my little bits in my little pot. Let's have a look and see what we've got. Okay, so we've got that one. That's quite interesting. I like that. And we've got that one. Love that. We have this one. We have this one. Now that's actually quite nice, although I wasn't sure about having that big strip down there. That actually works quite nicely because when you put things on that, sometimes you want a bit of book page behind it. So I quite like that, actually. I love that. I think that's really nice. And I really like that one as well. So they've actually turned out really well. I'm really very happy with them. Very random shapes, very random bits, but they've worked really well on there. I'm really pleased with them. So let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. And if you haven't already subscribed, love to have you to help build my channel up. And I'll look forward to seeing you all again for Stash Busting Saturday. Take care, guys. Enjoy the rest of your week. Bye.